Don't lie. We're live.
We are live. Hello and welcome back to the Bounty Hunters. How's everyone doing today?
Great. Great.
Who are we discussing tonight?
That would be Grand Moff Tarkin or
Grand
Tarkin.
Moff Tarkin it is. All right, so we got a lot to do, so we're just going to jump right into it. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit the little opening thing that I always do. And I don't know if I checked to make sure it works, so we're going to jump in this together. Here we go. Tarkin was a human male born on the planet Eridu. His family was among the first to colonize the planet, and his upbringing was strict, and it was hard. It was a rarity from a person from the Outer Rim to rise such high status in the Republic as Tarkin later would. He decided to join the Republic and enrolled in the Academy. While there, he met and became close with one Senator Palpatine. Later, Palpatine helped him win the election to become governor of Eridu, and this strengthened the loyalty to Palpatine even more. After the all-important trade summit that fell apart, Palpatine used Tarkin's executive powers to stop the then Chancellor Valorum from investigating what happened at the summit. Once the Clone Wars began, he left his role as governor and became a commissioned officer in the Republic Navy. He opposed the Jedi's role as leaders of the army, and his loyalty to the new Chancellor Palpatine grew even stronger. As the power of the Chancellor grew, Tarkin's role grew as well. He served in advisory roles, promoted to admiral, and even acted as prosecutor in Jedi Ahsoka's trial. As the Republic became the Empire, Tarkin's power would grow even more. He was named Grand Moff of the Outer Rim and become involved and later assumed control of the construction of the first Death Star. He believed the only way to rule the galaxy was through fear, and the Death Star was the best way to do it. However, Tarkin would meet his end on that very station, died just mere seconds before firing on the Rebel base and possibly ending the Rebels once and for all. So what is Tarkin's legacy? The Battle of Yavin shocked the entire galaxy, and nearly all the blame was placed at the feet of Tarkin. It was believed that he was overconfident in the Death Star. He forgoed naval escorts, and other than Vader on the final run by the Rebels, no ties were deployed to defend the station. As time went on, the station would be referred to as Tarkin's Folly. However, 30 years later, the First Order would take a different view of Tarkin. They would treat him with high esteem and respect. They would honor him by using the name Tarkin on the armband insignia for the rank of Major. And they would even name a squadron of TIE fighters Tarkin's Revenge. Next, we discuss Grand Admiral Tarkin, his story, his legacy. Join us. All right. There we go.
Very, very in-depth character. Lots.
There's a lot to unpack with him, even more than you realize when you start getting into it.
Start digging in here.
Yeah. So we'll just jump right in. That was him. We will do this. The first thing I was going to say was he was obviously looking into it. We kind of talked about it earlier. He seemed to be a lot more personally loyal to the Emperor, who was a senator, then Chancellor, then Emperor. Then he was to the Republic. He was from the Outer Rim, like I said in the thing. So I don't know how much loyalty he had to their core worlds or whatever, but he seemed to be more loyal to him than anything. Hey, Fuchsia, what's happening? And it reflects in the future stuff, and it kind of went hand in hand. He helped get some, get the Chancellor into power, and the Chancellor helped get him into power, like I said. So he was there. He was left-hand man. So there's two clips I'm going to show. One, like I said, I wanted to show it because he kind of comes off sometimes as like this English gentleman. He was not. He was ruthless. He would do whatever it took to get the job done. And this is just a little reminder. Overlords, listen. I want to come before you today to apologize for what I'm about to do. Please be gentle It's from love. It's not from like, you know, I'm not monetized or anything. So, but I thought it was important to show this whole thing. Here we go.
Since you are reluctant to provide us with the location of the rebel base, I have chosen to test this station's destructive power on your home planet of Alderaan.
No, Alderaan is peace, but we have no weapons. You can't
You will
possibly...
prefer another target, a military target? Then name the system. I grow tired of asking this, so it'll be the last time. Where is the rebel base?
What I love is as he basically just creeps right into her. He hits Vader and he just still keeps going, just like leans right forward in like the intimidation.
Yeah.
And there is something to say, like he did such a good job. Like I don't know how serious he took it because it was kind of a corny little space drama, but just like I guess his accent mixed with his acting ability, with his proper, there's something like creepy about somebody who's like speaking extremely proper English, but and they're saying in a way where I'm about to murder 1 million people and make you watch just because. Why not? Like, not good reason. You gave me the information I wanted, but I'm gonna go ahead and just do it anyway because I want people to see it. And
he's
it was
villain. He's like a villain in Doctor Who.
And he's like,
that
was the key.
His accent. Oh.
What's up?
I was saying his accent is what kicked off the entire empire. You know, being British.
Oh yeah. They pretty much had to follow him. And then movies to come. It wasn't just that. Like every movie from like 80s.
Yeah, they all have to be
every bad guy was British or German. That's it. You could either be British or German. There was no other bad guys. But yeah, so and then that's what he truly believed it though. Like his goal was to make sure, obviously he stayed in power, but it was to make sure. It seems like I haven't really seen anywhere where he had any kind of wavering from that. It was to make sure the empire stayed in control. He really did believe that was the best way is to control, and to control it was control it with fear. And the only way you control it with fear is to have stuff like blowing up planets with one shot. So,
which you see in the same way when he's a child, like that's how he grew up on Eridu. That's how he learned. He learned through fear and fighting and just ruthlessness in general. So, translates great to politics, and then.
And through that, the next clip I was going to show really fast was, and we'll talk about it more, but it was, and well, you know what? We'll hold off when we're going to the comic book because I'll show where that is. But it was basically how, when you look at it, it's kind of weird because who's actually in control here? Because we all think of Darth Vader as the big bad, but yet like Tarkin is obviously the one that he listens to Tarkin and stops, and even she has that, Princess Leia has that line where she said, "Oh, I'm not surprised to see you holding Vader's chain or holding Vader's leash or whatever." So it is kind of confusing because we all look at Darth Vader as like he is the ultimate power, but it was weird because it seemed like Tarkin was. So we'll kind of look into that and figure that out. So did you have anything to add as far as the movies go?
I was really outside of episode 4, I was really happy seeing him in Rogue One. I know a lot of people did complain about the CGI, them fully redoing him that way, opposed to just doing a casting someone else. But I really thought they did a great job with showing it, and it kind of makes the movie more impactful. Because I'm like, if he wasn't there, it would just be weird, and it's such a big moment for the Death Star. And I love that movie had so much great dialogue and moments for him, especially with Krennic.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see. I'll also see too because we will cover some of the comics, and then they adapt that.
Got a freeze frame. There he goes. The only thing that I would say about you're like I get a little bit of a freeze going there for a second. The only thing that I would say that concerns me about the CGI in that movie was I kind of would have liked to see them do less of like up close and more back of his head, back of an arm, and then do that because I'm afraid that and I like that movie, so I'm afraid in like 10 years that's not going to hold up well because a lot of times CGI does not hold up well, and I'm afraid that's going to look really corny because you go back and look at The three new ones, or the first three, not the '90s ones. A lot of that stuff does not hold up well.
At the very
already.
least, at least I'm not walking over. Krennic's not walking across his fuzzy slippers.
Yeah. So I mean,
if
you
understand the backstory, then you understand he's not there. But I think it's an integral part of.
Definitely need to be
part
there.
of the story. I mean, it's just not the Death Star without Tarkin.
Yeah, like I was watching where it was showing how I think it must have been the Tarkin book, which I haven't read yet, which I'm kind of embarrassed I haven't read it yet because I was actually looking really forward to that. What?
I have it in the other room. It's a really good one. It's one of the better. They released that right. It was pretty much right as the first releases of the new stuff when Disney took over, and that was it was really well done. Hit them on a mission together.
But I had that one, and I know there was one where he's like, they did in the movie too, but I guess in the book, because I was reading it, but I don't know where it's from, comic book or movie, where he was really making sure that the Death Star was going to make it. Like there were no mess ups. And then he was like, yeah, okay, this is my Death Star now. And Craddock was like, well, hold on now. And he was like, nah, you can walk away now. That's mine. And it just shows even more so that that he had the ability to do that, because you would think the guy who's actually watching it being built would have some kind of power, and not enough that Tar can't just walk over there and go, that's a nice car. Get out. I'm going to drive it. Like, that's basically what he did. And everybody was like, oh, okay, well,
you're in my spot. Give it to him.
So that's kind of interesting. And then I didn't make any clips with the Clone War because there's just too many. But in the Clone Wars, you can see a few things where he goes even deeper, where he was not impressed with Jedis. He did not think the Jedis were impressed. He did not seem to be in awe like a lot of they made a point, I think, in Clone Wars when normal people would see a Jedi, even sometimes when the clone troopers would see Jedis in work, they would be in awe, like, holy crap, that was really awesome. He seemed to be not impressed whatsoever and thought that they were a problem because, and it shows you, he has this proper English accent. So you think he's a nice guy, but the problem that he has with the Jedi is they're peacekeepers. And he thinks it's absolutely ridiculous that you basically have these hippies being in charge of the war council, basically, and they need to get the hippies out of the way because it's time to put some real fighting in. And so, and it shows in the Clone Wars that it's like, that's what it is. Like, he does not like peacekeepers being in charge. And it also shows you him and Anakin getting along, which causes, one of the bigger question marks that has, and I still people arguing about. I've seen YouTube videos. Did he know that Anakin was Darth Vader, vice versa? And
I have doubts, but definitely suspected it.
And so the only thing that's weird about it is, I mean, he had to go down with the ship, but that's now that they kind of, went back and filled in his story, that was a really big loss. Like, that was a very powerful person.
Yeah.
And you could say sometimes maybe even second in charge of the entire thing, who went down in that Death Star.
Well, yeah, a whole Grand Moff of the Outer Rim. So, like, all the Outer Rim just folds in, and then that what leaves it. The Hutt's probably taking more control over.
Right. Oh, because he would have made sure there was law and order in that Outer Rim. He wouldn't have been playing around. The funny thing is, like, I know what Grand Moff is, but like, it's almost like I forgot when I reread it. I was like, oh yeah, like they basically made him in charge of everything else outside of this circle.
Yeah, you had the little moths, and then he just the big spider out there.
Like, I want to make this circle, and then you're in charge of everything outside that circle. Oh, okay. Like, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah,
all right. Well, let
me these million comics there are.
Why am I needing to request access to this? Oh, there we go.
Oh God. We'll just have to close your eyes and visualize it.
I guess I just wasn't signed in. I was actually signed into Google. Lord knows. Sorry, Google. Another overlord of mine, Google. All right, so you just ready to jump into some of these emphasis? Was that a word? Some of these situations. I don't know. I got a stroke, I guess. I don't know what that was. Some of these situations of him appearing. You guys ready for this?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, so you got to share. There it goes.
Some first.
All right. So
second.
am I going? Where am I starting at?
P1.
P1. Man, it's like we're becoming professional. P stands for professional. All right, here we go. Star Wars book number 1.
The iconic,
Hold on. I'm sorry. I totally forgot. Can I do this with this still in here? Let's see if I can.
I don't know.
You can see the
that would speed stuff up. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, in case you don't know, this is a spec book right here. I heard there. This could be in the future. I mean, you heard it here first. Star Wars number 1, spec.
Oh, I was reading it again. I mean, I don't know how many times I've read it.
One too many.
Hundreds, but I mean, just looking at the art, it's just Luke doesn't look like Luke. C-3PO looks like some creepy-o robot.
But when you do look at this cover, who looks to be the badass though? Look at this gentleman right here. I don't know why he has a red lightsaber. We'll talk about that another day. But
the colors, don't even acknowledge the colors in this series.
Oh yeah, they
already talked about Lando and Bosk and all their changing of their outfits 24/7.
That green robot in the background.
If you told the color that, hey man, there's like canon and stuff, they'd be like, dude, this is a stupid little book. Shut up and let me just color this book, please.
If you remove the word Star Wars and put Disco Fever, you would not be surprised.
Disco Fever, how dare you, sir? All right, so that's book 1.
So I absolutely love this
so
first appearance.
Disappointed. He's like not over shoulder or nothing.
Well, no, he's the powerful man. He doesn't stand over anyone's shoulder.
And he's got some kind of weird
goblin,
no neck, some kind of weird figure behind him.
So I forgot, going back into this again, how squished his helmet is for some reason. I also have to keep reminding myself this came out before the movie even was like coming out, because this was all drafted up before.
Right.
Yeah.
So this predates it all, and it's pretty funny because they're working off drafts basically and like random stills from set.
He's got a leash there somewhere.
So then, so you have next part would basically, choking out Vader, choking out the governor. And
wait, hold on. How did I not see this? Is he drinking something?
So I was screaming. I was laughing. Sorry. Yeah, zoom in. So he was toasting. He's just staying there in the back. Yeah. So go to the very far left. You see him?
Oh, okay.
Got some hot cocoa.
Picking up some hot cocoa. Bringing it over.
Okay, because I know I've read this book several times. I don't remember ever noticing that he had a drink in his hand. That's weird. Okay.
So go back. It's something funny. So he's choking the guy, obviously. Now, is he doing it with his pinky? Is he just sticking his pinky out to choke him, or is he having his other hand off to the side?
Hey, I have a theory. You ready? Now that I'm looking at this, if you take that cup out of his hand, that's the actual thing he makes.
Yeah, it's this.
I wonder if they gave him that, and the artist was like, "I don't know what he's doing with his hand, so maybe he's supposed to have a cup in it." Because if you take that cup away, that's what it actually looks like. Because the cup makes no sense whatsoever. Now the cup's bothering me. And I kind of wonder if he saw a storyboard and was like, clearly there's something in his hand that's a little weird. So maybe it's supposed to be a cup. So I'm gonna throw a cup in his hand.
That's so funny though. How many times have you read this and they only really acknowledged it till now?
Yeah.
I have no idea how many times I've read this.
That's crazy. This is gonna be one of my favorite parts of the show.
So after that, you see him again in issue 3. That is the.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know why
it's not supposed to be the art. Really.
I really like the fact that the lasers are pink. I don't know why. It just pops for me. Like I like the fact that all the lasers are pink. This sword is a little rough, but for like a cover, I think it's funny that they're pink. Like, I don't know why, but I always think that's funny.
So yeah, he appears a few times in the first few issues.
Yeah, every other issue basically.
Now he's in his green uniform.
Why are they looking at they're looking at some kind of Super Bowl or something? I'm a little bit weirded out by
it's the bingo game.
Colonel, what's happening? This ain't no dollar store comic, sir. This is a legend.
Well, look at that, the font for Death Star. But yeah, so
Yeah, this is awesome right here. This is
All-
the gets.
all the dialogue is basically taken directly from the movie and script, so it's the same as in the movie.
Also, like I'm not obviously these people are way better. I have two questions. One, why the unnecessary focus on a crotch shot right here? Because that's clearly what is in. I don't know how to say this, but foreground. I don't know how to say it, but this is clearly up front. Like that's what they want you to focus on. And then again, as an artist,
says, that's a jawbreaker, not a Super Bowl.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
why again? Or is this so when the rain comes down, it doesn't get on his neck at all? Because why does he have no neck again back here? It's like it's good. Look, rain hits this, and it goes down this little crack, and then it just comes right off, and it's great for the rain, but it makes him look like somebody bopped him on the head. Boom.
He's got some gutter guard.
All right. Oh, that's colorful.
So as we'll see many times, they keep going back to the same moment, retelling it over and over. And
I forgot about the green uniform. I got to read this again. It's been a while. I love the green uniform. Look at that thing.
The colors are so wild.
They're awesome. I do like this though. This is nice.
That face.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That
Kind of like mildly disappointed, expecting more debris.
He just blew up a planet, and he's like, "Yeah. Anyway, I need my tea and biscuits or whatever British people do. I don't know what they do."
Tim Tams.
So yeah, now he turns off, and this is basically talking about what. So as the movie is, if everyone's seen this, everyone's seen everyone's favorite San Holo.
San Holo.
San Holo. Yeah, I'm again. It's not a lot of mobility this artist gave them in these uniforms. It's interesting.
I do really want to know what he was given, like what the art, or it must have been the Ralph Corey concept art, and maybe some stills from the film. So this is issue 5.
Because this looks like about a 40-year-old mountain man, and not like a 16-year-old farm boy. Like you. And then that's just scary. Chewbacca is he's ready to eat 3 or 4 humans right now. Look how big his hand is. Jesus.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I have that cover actually.
Now the adaptation goes to what, issue 6?
Issue 6. But what's funny is issue 6 is the one we covered before, which covered Rogue Squadron.
Right.
Or Blue Squadron. Red Squadron and Wedge, but they called it Blue Squadron. But funny enough, they actually don't show the part where Tarkin is waiting for the Death Star to destroy Yavin and his ultimate demise. They don't show that at all. This is the last time you see him, is in this page. Mm-hmm. With a very upset toddler in the bottom panel as you're zooming in.
2 things. This is the rare 2-tone. You don't see it often. The rare 2-tone Darth Vader suit. And then, yeah, he has literally thrown a temper tantrum. I want my binky.
But yes,
look at that.
That's what you see of Tarkin in the original Star Wars run. Obviously, he dies in 4, so they don't do much with him later.
Right.
And then we have.
This is great.
This is gonna be amazing.
This is always when the business picks up right here, and we start adding in the droid comic. This is always where the good stuff starts right here.
Hey, after you mentioned last week about droids being your most anticipated series, I had to add this comic.
That's word for word what I said.
Just go back and watch the other one. But this came out 86, and this basically again retells.
I'm sorry, but so it begins right here.
Red
right there. And then the retells.
Retells the same thing we just looked at, but in a much more interesting.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna don't look at that. We're gonna get back to that. But just take a gander at this here. What They're all in different colors.
So,
Like-
what did you prefer? Did you prefer the squished Vader with no neck, or do you
Hold
prefer?
on. Could you actually ride in this thing for the rest of your life? You're attached to the Death Star, and you're riding in lime green and puke green and orange, and you're wearing this and wearing
It's
that.
not Star Trek.
Here's two things. I just now noticed this. There's two Marvel like appearances. You got Namor or whatever his name is, the man of the deep, and then my favorite shows up right here.
Before you scroll down, before we go back up.
Okay, go ahead.
So I like the light speed they do here because normal light speed is pretty cool and pretty kind of like you might if you get a headache if you were sitting there. I look at this, I probably would have a seizure and die.
Yo,
just if this is what you saw going.
That's Japanese Saturday morning cartoons right there. That's what that is.
Yeah, Star Blazers, or it could be it gives you a cotton candy in your tasting.
Cotton candy. Yeah, that's what Colonel said. What's with all the cotton candy? All right, so you already said he's here, Mr. Atlantis himself, and then my favorite character makes an appearance with right here. Doctor Strange shows up, and he's doing something weird. Darth Vader. He's deforming his face. He's trying to end the whole thing right now. He's going to save the galaxy.
You have to zoom into that. That's just
I'm zooming in. You know, I'm zooming into that.
The best part is where in the part does his helmet? Where is the middle part supposed to be? And where does the rest of it? It's all in shadow.
That looks like somebody kid like got some Play-Doh and is like, I'm gonna make a Darth Vader, and this is what he came up with. The fun thing is I'm sitting up here with the balls to make fun of like professional artist who is amazingly talented. I'm like, this looks stupid.
He looks at the one on the right. What to me it looks like is the one on the right is him just sketching over, and the left is him trying his best off memory.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, at least Tarkin's interesting enough, right?
Not Tarkin. I don't know who the hell that is, but that's not Tarkin.
Tarkin has a mullet in the second panel.
I mean, I'm digging this guy. I mean, you know, I love Strange. I love Doctor Strange. And I'm digging this guy, but it's not Tarkin.
Who's that? David Attenborough. I don't know.
Maybe Tarkin slipped in a body double because he's afraid Darth Vader was going to choke him out. So he's like, you know what? I'll trick him. I'll put a fake Tarkin in there. Oh, look at all this. I don't even know where to begin with all this.
The blue suit.
Look at this guy.
Okay,
look at this guy wants to jump out the window right now. Look at him. He wants to jump out the window so bad. What is
Vader's on a runway? The runway model.
Oh, look at him. He is. Go. And then this guy. This looks like Mel Brooks's guy from the Spaceballs. That's
right. Ludicrous speed.
Ludicrous speed. That's what those cotton candy things were.
That's great. Look at C-3PO.
I don't even know. Does he have a nose? Is that a nose? No, that's just a weird thing.
Yeah.
It looks like the Scarecrow.
We should cover the droid series at some point.
Who's the colorful guy behind him? Do we know this guy's name?
That's R2.
No, it's not. It's R2.
Oh.
That's a different character. That's so great.
Did you guys off topic quickly? But speaking of R2, I hate how they do where they just they spell out phonetically the names instead of just doing the numbers. And then recently for War of the Bounty Hunters, the variant, the action figure variant for IG-88, and they spell his name out, and his name goes across the entire length of the page, and it looks so stupid.
Hey, I can't highlight. So can somebody highlight OP walls or say what he said at least? Can you guys just
Tarkin was all about weapons, so he put all the money the Empire had into the huge discount from the Mon Calamari on the off-colored equipment.
Don't matter what it looks like, boys. It matters how it functions. I get in there and make something happen.
Yeah, that was a pink ship.
So yeah, we got the Death Star here. I like that. I like that middle part though. That part's cool. With the colors there.
Tarkin doing at the top there. That's a pretty sinister grin he's got going.
Smug. Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, leading to the attack. So what's funny is this comic shows what happens to Tarkin when he's on the thing, leading to his death, while the main one just avoids it.
Can we just talk about? I don't know who the creepy old man is in the pink hoodie, but I like his style. I absolutely love his style.
That's George Lucas.
It is George Lucas.
It is. I'm sure they drew it to be him, 100%.
Yeah,
Dude, look at all the pink everywhere. I don't know what the future hits, boys, but I hope you like pink because it is everywhere. I'm not gonna say what this looks like either. We're gonna just go past that and go on to the next because that looked.
Oh yeah, that was that was the other three. These three panels killed me. So first off, Doctor being really strange.
That's so amazing. I kind of want to put this as a poster. I just want to blow this up right here and have it like above my toilet or something. It's like
no, that's when you lift the toilet seat up with the inside of the lid. Darth Vader's really funny. That's really
it is a little strange.
Cut it off too short, so everything looks squished in. And then
again, look at this though. Like you're
Skywalker.
It's hard enough to fly without and they have all this pink.
And then
I guess it's a date of birth here. I'm not sure what that is.
Is it a date? 2001.
They got the new prototype ones in. Must be for aerodynamics. They get that little small foil on the side there. Aerodynamic one.
So he's flying. This is all right. This is the retelling of the strong.
Yeah, where they actually show what happens, opposed to ignoring it like the other one did. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So you jump from that lovely time to this is Empire number 8. This is it's like an origin story almost for Biggs Darkslayer, Luke's friend who joins up with the Empire and then defects.
Right.
And, I don't. What they're trying to do here is they're trying to get your focus on the Marlboro Man here because he's like whatever man wants to be. But what the hell is this? Like, why was he standing like that? That is weird looking.
It is a strange stance.
It's a good cover.
Okay. I'm gonna run to the washroom, but basically before I run, this is so it just shows what happens with Biggs going into the academy and basically meeting Tarkin giving a small speech to the people there, showing his authority.
Good art. I really.
The interior looks really good too. So you'll see.
Yeah, I like this part. This part's really cool here. For sure.
Big jump from the last book.
Oh yeah,
that art's iconic.
Oh no! What happened to all the? There's no style. There's no pizzazz. What in the world is happening here?
He's given a big speech about how amazing the Empire is.
Oh, that's
And
good.
they're all going to be a part of it, and they're all winners, and basically they're going to be winning the war for them. Tom Selleck, yeah, right.
Wow. Tom Selleck wishes he had a mustache. Like,
some great close-ups of Tarkin.
yeah, that's good. Like that one's really good. This is a little big. I wonder what you're doing out there. I never thought of, I didn't know he swung from both sides of the plate. That's interesting. You heard it here first.
He just looks lonely and miserable like he always does.
He always is lonely and miserable. You know what's about to happen to you? So first off, this is not correct because he always had the high ground. So this is incorrect, not in canon.
Right. Not canon.
Plus, what's this one about?
They had different colored sabers, right?
Oh, he's not even here with us. Where did he go? Where did he go? There he is.
I'm back.
What are you doing? You just pieced out on us.
I ran to the washroom.
Good Lord.
I wasn't gonna hold it like last time for an hour. So, yeah, this is basically one page. The Revenge of the Sith. The art was horrible. It's just that part at the end. If you click the next one,
yeah,
showing him standing next to the rest.
Oh yeah. So this is wrong. The canon's on this side, so you messed that up. Just pointing out what I'm seeing. Just call him like I sees him.
The one scene he shows up in the entire prequel trilogy.
Just a camera of his back.
this next thing, I was hoping you guys wouldn't hit this by time. This is the coolest thing in Star Wars. Have you ever guys heard about infinities?
No.
I hope not. Have you heard about that, Kachin?
No.
So Star Wars Infinities, before you click onwards, Star Wars Infinities was these. They did one for each of the original movies, 4, 5, and 6. And what it was, they did a what if. Basically, something happens in the movie, and they completely take it from there, go crazy. So episode 5, basically Luke dies on Bespin, or he dies on Hoth. He dies to the Wampa, and then what happens later on with that? Leia being trained by Yoda, etc. But episode 4 is interesting. So I took this is the 4th issue because what's funny in this. In the first one, what happens is they attack the Death Star. Luke shoots the torpedo in, and what happens is it malfunctions on its way in, and it doesn't blow up as they leave. Tarkin, they blow up. They destroy Yavin, but they're basically able to evacuate a little bit, and they get tractor beamed in. So Leia becomes captured, and she gets seduced to the dark side by Sidious and becomes like an apprentice with Vader. And Luke goes on to meet Yoda and train, and now Death Star is roaming the galaxy. Terror, Coruscant is there with everyone overruling, and now there's a big anniversary happening. So Yoda with Han and them go, you what? Let's go deal with this. We should finally deal with this. And Yoda goes with them to the Death Star, which is over Coruscant. Okay. And if you click the next one, we can start here.
He starts
the funniest thing you'll ever see in your life. If you thought that art was funny. So Yoda shows up on the Death Star and he finds Tarkin. It just to zoom in on Tarkin's face there, or on the one above him. Where's back? We'll go through the whole.
He's surprised as hell, man.
Admiral, he says, "How dare you enter my quarters without a long time it has been." Much younger were we in the days of the Republic. Important you have become. Sufficient payment for your soul, I hope.
Look what he first says. He says, ugh.
Yeah. And then a tour of your vessel I desire. A demonstration of its power I would see. And then you're like, oh boy, what's Yoda planning here?
He's doing an inspection.
Yeah, they continue. So Luke fights Leia in front of Palpatine and Vader in the throne room in the Capitol.
Yeah.
Above Big Armada, Yoda has Tarkin start blowing up some of the ships, their own ships, the Empire ships. Most impressive toy, Admiral, intended for this use, was it not? Admiral, we're locked down in the control room, right? So they're fighting off. Yoda says, more of this station's capabilities I wish to see. And what Yoda does is the best thing. Palpatine is informed that the Death Star is now shooting all the Star Destroyers.
The Star's attacking us.
And then you should be, if you scroll down, there. Click that one. So Palpatine basically betrays Vader, and then Vader's trying to step up for his kids, and then same thing as kind of sticks. But Palpatine gets a live feed from Yoda to zoom in on the top part there. Well, Yoda, we had a busy day, don't you think? Your little mission will deter me or the Empire. Yes, it's like save your fleet. The dark side did not. By now, the Death Star's weapon systems have been disabled by my troops. It's only a matter of time before you and your young charges are in my custody. Coming to see you, I am now. Yoda says. So they're running off the Capitol, the team, and Yoda's big plan is. A kamikaze.
Oh.
Yoda decides to crash the Death Star into Coruscant.
What? How many people died? Do you think?
Yoda. Hey, as we discussed, Yoda probably didn't care about life in the end. So yeah, I thought that was hilarious just because he takes Tarkin and basically force controls him around the ship to.
Let's just. I know this has nothing to do with Tarkin, but let's just talk about this for a minute. This crashes into what again?
Into the Senate, basically the Senate.
Okay. Now look at their faces. Does this look like face of people who just witnessed millions of people dying? Millions. They're like, yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That's impressive.
Job well done all around. Handshakes, hearty handshakes all around. Like, what in the world? Are they gonna get a celebration for this?
And that's the best part. They go celebrate, but like if you zoom in Yoda's face with Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah, he's proud of himself.
Yeah.
That's wow. That's an interesting book.
It's so they're all really funny Infinity stories. They're hilarious, honestly. If you ever get a chance to read them, I'd say they're just 4 issues. But that ends all the legend stuff, leading us into canon. Now for canon, technically the first time Tarkin reappears is in the Rogue One adaptation.
Yeah. Which is like the art in this is fantastic.
Quick on the draw.
All right. Okay. All right.
You got to be fast, Joe.
That's Phil Noto. He does all the covers on.
Yeah, he does all the covers. I love the covers.
And all the art's done by.
Oh wow, he's had some work done. Look at that. He's smoothed out. Nice.
They took ideas from the CGI artists.
Very nicely done. Wow, this is like seriously though. Look how like I don't know. It's just like super.
They repainted.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
So yeah, it's basically it's the identical. I was looking up out of curiosity. It's identical dialogue to the movie. It's not like they had changes at all.
Okay.
But yeah, it's interesting how they do the shots or how they do them because in the movie they always do it in specific ways because of Tarkin being CG.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely my favorite parts of the movie were with Tarkin, are some of my favorite parts.
Oh, this is the one that I think wasn't it Issues. Who said it? Somebody asked for this, or was it Colonel? Asked for us to do one of the.
What are these two?
The blind guy, I think it was.
I know they have a bunch of Avengers comics, like short stories in them. But yeah,
what's happening in this one? This is more of the same story.
Yeah, it's all basically from the movie. Just seeing it in that way, and then Tarkin obviously being like, "The star's mine now." I love this one. This is my favorite ones of the covers.
Yeah. I like the Aussie guy. He's an Aussie actor. That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Aussie likes the Aussie. Shocking.
Of course. He was in Vertical Limit. He's really funny in that.
When you have those British, dictator, you have an Aussie as the director.
That's what I was just talking about too. Ooh, don't do that. Or he says, "I believe I owe you an apology, director.
Freeze.
Your work exceeds all expectations." And then right to this, I will tell him that I will take control over the weapon I sparked for you, effective immediately. Good job, Tarkin.
Effective immediately. That's
good to see him back in green.
Yeah. He took a break from the blue and red and
great.
The mullet.
This is funny. He'll say, "We'll see about this." And as we've talked about, his closeness to the Emperor, this guy had no chance. He's going to go whine to him like your middle child, and it's like
we went to Vader and whined to him, and Vader just choked him.
That's right. He did go to Vader. I forgot about that.
And Vader's like, he has higher authority than me, so why are you coming to me? So yeah, he appears in number 5. It's 6 issues. He basically didn't appear in the 4th one. He's in all 6 issues of this adaptation. Mm-hmm. So this is them going to Jeddah, or going to Scarif.
Inform Lord Vader.
That's
Okay.
some great battles.
Yeah. And that is, and hey, more spec for you. That's his first cover appearance in general.
Yeah.
Right there. That's actually a good one. There it is, right there.
Mhm.
More
Yeah, Phil
fun.
Noto always kicks it out of the park.
Yeah. So that is his first ever.
First cover appearance ever, which is funny that he never had one in Legends, obviously, because there wasn't much opportunities.
Yeah.
That's crazy, actually.
And yeah, this is just the part where he has them shoot Scarif, killing
Yeah.
poor Krennic and everyone else.
After that flash drive.
Or flash the floppy disk. So then, yeah, after that, the next time you see Tarkin, he's actually in this set of the story arc in Darth Vader. It's the second volume for Vader.
The sword one.
It's so good, yeah. And
That's
this is
good.
set on Mon Cala, and it's basically just Vader's looking for this Jedi on the planet because it's early days of the Empire, and what's it called? Tarkin's just trying to kind of take over the planet, kind of secretly create some disloyalty almost, make it look like they're doing stuff that they shouldn't be. Mm-hmm.
Gotta have that
Testing
good
these different captains. You have an admiral, you have an ISB agent, etc. And what happens this moment is, so there's a governor's ship on Mon Cala. He's leaving, and it gets blown up. And obviously, Tarkin sets the explosion out to make inciting moment so they can invade the planet.
Yeah.
I feel like they do more close-ups on him than any other character.
They do a lot, yeah.
I love it. Yeah, these covers are gorgeous too. I don't know who does the covers for these ones. I can't remember offhand. But yeah,
I totally do remember this now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, with their king. Yeah, so Tarkin's basically telling him, "Hey, you guys blew up a governor under your protection. We'll be invading you now."
And this guy had he was a little more confident than he needed to be because he thought he had an ace in the hole. I do remember that now.
Because he had a Jedi on hand.
Yeah, he had a Jedi.
He didn't want to do anything anyways. So yeah.
And there you go. See, we're familiar with every weapon system these people have. So he has no fear of these beings.
Mm-hmm. That was my favorite covers of the whole run. So good. Something about lightsabers in the water has always been a really cool look. Oh, this is a great. If you zoom into the top two panels, it's him basically ringing out this agent. It's pretty great. So he's like, yeah, another piece of military tech our colleagues in the ISB should have alerted us to. Wouldn't you say, Commander Jordo? And it's like, oh, we only knew we have been in this system for only days. What can you expect? He's like, yes, I'm realizing I can expect very little from you.
It's
that's awesome. So he just throws him in some armor and say, "Get down there and make it happen."
right.
Get something down there. That's hilarious.
And if I'm not mistaken, it actually does go down there and just dies immediately.
FYI, the covers are Giuseppe Camuncoli.
Awesome.
I never heard of a comic artist named Giuseppe before. This would be. So him leading his Inquisitors, and I can't remember the name of those. They're not Death Troopers, obviously, and they're not Dark Troopers. Not the page that you're on, yeah. But so basically, this is great. So Tarkin calls down to Vader, saying, "Hey, and also just going to show Also going to show, Tarkin's control over Vader.
Yeah.
Like he's able to stop him from doing his prime task of killing a Jedi to, help with some fish.
He has Inquisitors with him.
Yeah.
And he immediately, is going to obey for a second.
Yeah.
They're painted covers, by the way.
They're painted. Okay.
Yeah.
So this moment's fantastic. So zoom in at the top there to where Tarkin's talking in the hologram. So he says, Governor Tarkin, I have ordered a ceasefire. This was a misunderstanding. I'm ready to talk terms. Just please stop killing my people. Excellent, Your Majesty. I accept your surrender, and I will send a shuttle to take you into custody. In the meantime, the bombardment will continue. And then continues to bombard the planet. And then arrests the king. And then sets their own, what's that word? Sets their own, false king up, basically.
Look at that. Another cover appearance.
That's it. That's my favorite. That looks so cool. Tarkin hiding behind the tree. Vader's walking around.
That is really cool.
So this story, basically, it's like a test almost where Tarkin has this little crew and they're hunting Vader down on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, by the Emperor's wishes.
Always after Vader.
Yeah, and Vader has this almost like a visibility cloak. It's like from an animal hide that camouflages itself.
Like Harry Potter?
Yes.
Like Predator.
Like the Predator.
You went Predator.
Harry Potter.
Oh, I love the name of this guy.
What's his name? Those species is hilarious. What is the name?
Zoom into the middle panel and the little middle panel. Yeah. He mentions his name right there.
Hard here.
Here. What?
Hard here.
Hard here. Yeah, look how big his ears are.
Look how big his ears are.
He's hard here.
But look, that's why though, because he's missing one of his ears, probably.
Oh, Tarkin must love calling him that. That's hilarious.
But he's
they get ambushed by Vader using the Force and throws everyone around.
Hard here can hear good.
Oh, he's not afraid though. Look at him. He's ready to fight him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so take a stand. They're like, we're gonna camp here for the night. We'll see in the morning comes what the damage is, and yeah, and they'll go from there. But they don't quite see morning really. Poor Hart here gets his choked out.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
By the invisibility cloak.
Yeah. So Tarkin, everyone gets slaughtered there, and Tarkin runs off, basically luring Vader out.
Oh, and he says, "It's
He
time
has
to
a whole
stop playing."
dialogue. Yeah. It's kind of monologuing about it.
It's all his thoughts. Being tracked by Vader.
Yeah. So Tarkin drops, basically lured Vader out there, and you see in his reflection of his eye, you see what's coming.
Vader's he's itching for it.
He gets shot down with some lightning. Disables Vader.
So this is clearly set prior to Rogue One.
Yes, this is earlier. But yeah, it came out afterwards, much after. I can't remember what the exact timeline, but this is in the second volume of Vader, so it's early in to the Empire still.
Nice.
And then so that top left part is them talking prior, basically Vader being like, "Kill me if you can." Tarkin's a little, spooked.
And then not yet.
He's reaching for his cup, his mug. And then,
Yeah, he's got his cup in his hand.
Hot cocoa grip.
yeah. Yeah, chokes Tarkin, but then, lets go for passing out.
So it's basically just showing that he is holding his own against Vader.
Yeah.
He had to use some shenanigans, but he is holding his own.
Yeah, which is pretty much the only way to do it. And now, by request, popular request, this was another one he appears, and I overlooked it, but thankfully, Mr. G here.
There you go, right there.
Thanks.
I gave him the exact page by page that I want him to go to and book.
100%. So yeah, this takes place not long before Rogue One, if I'm not mistaken, because it's Tarkin arriving on Scarif after hearing some news about who shows up, who shouldn't be there. Yeah, so this is great. Yeah, zoom in on what they say. This is great.
And that's kind of wanted to show. I just wanted to show earlier when I said it was kind of confusing because we all look at Darth Vader as the big bad, but Tarkin was actually, he was more favored than he was in some instances like this. Lord Vader, your presence here is unauthorized. And yet, Governor, here I am. I thought I should learn more about this Project Stardust. That's a great line, though. And yet, here I am. Lord Vader, your presence here is unauthorized.
So what's great is basically Tarkin's constantly insulting Vader and yelling at him, and Vader's just saying they're quietly just imagining killing Tarkin.
Yeah, he says basically you're not allowed to do this. He says the Force is all the authorization I need. You're being called to heal. Stand down, Lord Vader. This is a command. I'm not your beast, Governor. Aren't you? The Emperor has taken a new view on that, I'm afraid. You are mine to do as I see, and I don't need the Force to sense your anger, Lord. It's obviously like, holy cow, he just killed him. And then he knocked him out. But it was really just him wishing as he's talking trash.
He's gonna have an argument with some shampoo bottles.
He even knows it too, right here. You're imagining it right now, aren't you? You're reaching out with your mind in anger, aren't you? You really want to. It's like if you ever had an argument with like somebody who's like a really bad at arguing, but in a good way. It's like, oh, you want to hit me, don't you? Well, go on and hit me then. That's literally what this guy's doing right now. What's happening, Chris?
Oh, he's made it. You wanted to see Grandma Tarkin.
He wanted to see some Grandma Tarkin.
So yeah, and in the bottom here, he pulls a holocron up of Palpatine.
Yeah, so then he goes, oh, yeah, you want me to show you? I'll call Dad then. And he calls Dad. I don't recall
the Xbox.
I don't recall sending you there. So he's a little tattletale is what he is. At least a little respect for the tattletelling right there. But that's okay. That's okay. How interesting.
And then telling him to go to Geonosis. There's a part there he needs to play. And then at the very bottom here, he says, the last panel.
One more thing.
And then the next page. This is just one panel after that.
I was got in the middle of reading it.
Oh, too enthralled. And one more thing. Tarkin has full authority over you, Lord Vader. Do not disappoint him. If you disappoint him, then you disappoint me.
There you go. That's the thing that I think people would be kind of surprised to see that part.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. After that,
I was on YouTube and showed myself, but none of you tuned in to say hi. Well, who did you tell you were on YouTube? Nobody told me you're on YouTube.
Oh, so this is from the Thrawn series, which is just an adaptation of the first book of the new Thrawn trilogy.
All right,
so he appears in issues 3 and 4, dealing with what is her name? Governor Price.
Yep.
From Rebels. So it's her giving some information regarding some other high-ranking Imperials who are, being, bad bureaucrats. And Tarkin likes the bribing. So she tells him about Grand Admiral Thrawn, or Admiral Thrawn at this, or not even Admiral Thrawn. He was Lieutenant Thrawn still, I believe.
I think he's just Thrawn, yeah.
Yeah, Lieutenant Commander. So yeah, it's them setting up their relationship together, which we see in Rebels, and his authority across all the other leadership. This is a good cover. Another cover appearance.
By the way, I'll just say anybody who has not read this Thrawn, these are good books.
Yeah, it's really good.
Very.
I like long-haired Thrawn personally.
Long hair.
Yeah, when he had long hair, like the first one, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah. So this point here is when Tarkin promotes Admiral Thrawn, and I think he's promoted to Admiral here, actually. If you zoom at the very top.
I don't know.
Yeah. And then as well as Eli Vanto, yeah, put up 2. But very cool seeing the 2 there.
Yep, for sure.
Now this one, so I added this is pretty fun, so this is his technically first solo story, really.
Mhm.
It's the Age of Rebellion. They had these one shots for each different character. This one was Tarkin's, and they had 4 covers. So I was like, might as well include all 4 of them. They had the regular, they had the concept art, they had the third one on the bottom left, and they had a movie version.
I thought I had this, but I couldn't find it.
I have the concept art one. It was actually the concept for Revenge of the Sith, funny enough. But that one on the bottom left, the red one, is gorgeous. I love that one.
Yeah,
I don't know if I have any of those. I have to look.
it's a good story.
It's really good. So it starts off basically on his home planet. This is when he was a kid, being his parents is trying to is instilling confidence in him to face monsters on his planet, just to get torn to hell.
Like the guy in 300.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is kind of yeah. So they send him right out. So he knows.
So yeah, this is the Death Star. This is around the time of Episode 4. This is in between, and he lets everyone know they're all basically just kind of showing his power and presence, and he has everyone, all the different gunners and such, meet up in the hangar. He requests them all there.
Oh wow! So he has everyone explain their entire history, and then he's like, "You may file when ready."
So this is so cool to me. This whole part in the comic. So he's down there in the hangar. He sees this one soldier. He has him take his helmet off, pull your sleeves up, and then you hit the next page. Zoom in to the very top there. What Tarkin says. Just no scars. And I have a scar on my knee from a grav ball tournament in university. And he's like, I can show you it if you want.
Wow.
He goes, Chief Gunner. Yes.
I don't even know what to say to that. What's going on with this guy right now? There you go. I'll give you one.
Knocks him down or the helmet.
He's a lefty too. I didn't know that about him.
And then this is pretty wild. So
Oh yeah, I had to add that one in mine too.
So at the very top, he says his whole dialogue here is just amazing. So we'll read that all. We go at the very top. He says, "You're a quarter meter taller than me, at least 20 years younger, but you have just one scar on your knee from a grab ball game. That's not enough." And he's just like hovered. And he says to him, "Give him a vibroblade."
That's awesome. Another one.
Yeah, he says, if this man can, what was the exact wording he says? It's really great, at the very top. He says, if he survives, he is to be released unharmed and promoted to captain. And then he pulls out the same knife that was from the claw of the beast from the very beginning. He has.
Oh, he's like, yeah, you ain't backing. I don't want to fight, sir. You ain't backing out of this, or I'll kill you where you squat. Wow, that looks like, yeah, that looks rough.
So yeah, Tarkin just massacres this dude.
Well, he's giving him scars.
Yeah.
Yep, but he keeps going.
Yeah, and it's all revealed. Tarkin's pulling a Vader. He's imagining it all in his head. He's imagining what he could do. And the guy's going off like, yeah, I got this from university. Yeah, my knee. Look. And then Tarkin says, what Tarkin says to him. Not mistaken. You zoom right in. I know that under the late director Krennic, discipline on this facility has been less than perfect. You are Death Star gunners, trained to unleash our most powerful weapon against our worst enemy. Your work here is the greatest honor you will ever receive in your lives. You destroyed the holy city of Jeddah. You destroyed the base on Scarif, but when you thought you were going to destroy a whole planet, you failed. Your one and only job is to fire when commanded. If you're unable to do so, you should report for decommissions and shipment to a labor colony.
There you go.
And then it cuts to episode 4. I love this moment where there's another time they retell the moment, but they do it in an interesting way. Where he has the whole part of dialogue saying the scene, and then you see the gunners kind of hesitating, and they're like, oh no, we really have to blow this planet up. When Leia gives Dantooine, the one gunner kind of lets a sigh of relief out. Just before Tarkin says, you still fire, blow up the planet. And then they don't really hesitate. He looks over at them. He looks over at them after they really sigh of relief, and then he decides to still blow up the planet anyways, after he looks at them. And then they do what he commands and blows up Alderaan. And then Tarkin, very pleased with himself. Like,
Wow,
like yes.
Look at this.
He's super happy.
You go from the one in what was it? In the original one in 77, we just kind of like stone faced. But this one, he's like really happy about it.
This guy's not exactly hiding his face in shame either. He's like, yeah, it's incredible, sir. Indicators, touchdown. We got him. Like, that's what it looks like.
So Tarkin asks for some diagnostics, and he's like, oh, and if you detect any bugs, et cetera, but he's like, oh, call the gunners over here. And the next page is great. So he says, let's see. He calls the gunners over, and he says, if you zoom in right there, to what Tarkin says, each of you hesitated at key points during the firing of the Death Star. I give you the chance to resign your commissions if you are unable to do your job. I don't really know what else to say. Sir, we did our job. We destroyed Alderaan exactly as ordered. And he says, Chief Gunner Endo Frant, so you grew up on Alderaan, didn't you? I was born there. I was educated on Coruscant. I haven't been there in years, yeah. How would you feel if you were ordered to destroy your own home planet? And then Tarkin, a little smile on his face. He already imagines his family, his whole world is blowing up.
He's a psycho, man.
And then he says, I would do my duty with pleasure. And then he says to them, none of you, what do you say with the ball in there?
None of you understand that this is not the place for you. That's crazy. Wait, what? No. Oh, because what he didn't know? Well, he's back with his home planet again.
Yeah. Airlocks him out.
He airlocks them out.
Love it.
And he goes, I love this page is great, where he goes back to his office, looks at the scars, the knife, and then he just sits there.
Nice. Psycho killer. Run
Yeah.
away.
So after that, the next time you see Tarkin, this is the most recent time you see him, and the last time you've seen him so far is issue 7 to the new run of Star Wars. It's a flashback one, where this is an amazing character, Commander Zara.
Yeah.
So it's on his Tarkin's planet. Yeah, very great. Tarkin's planet, Eridu. He's saying, I seek a protege. The three of you, he names as one beast on the planet. I seek its head. Bring its head to me before, and you'll be like the protege. So, goes off pointing at the sun, you know.
And bring me its head.
And Zara brings back the head, and he asks, well, the other ones, like, well, I killed them. They were my competition. So he's like, oh, good. Very good. Well, Come with me. And
Perfectly done.
Yeah. Back in grain.
so he goes. He has with Krennic talking, and then a couple different key points. She's there with him, learning and getting respect from Tarkin. And he commissions her for a mission where he got. Yeah. You guys have heard of this one, you little foundling. So yeah, Tarkin sends her on a mission to basically this one kind of revolutionary character to bring him. It's like to kill him and end that kind of strike. But he says, "Bring me his head." Like one more thing.
Bring me his head. Yep.
So she kind of gets lazy in the moment when she goes to assassinate him. She finds where he is on the planet, and she's like, "Well, we don't really need to leave the ship. We'll just aerial bombard the base he's in. He won't survive." So they do that. She comes back, and Tarkin's like, "So where's his head?" And she's like, "What do you mean?" Like, I specifically asked for his head. And then he pulls up a holocron, and he survived, or he had a double. He had a body double, and he's still making reports saying the Empire tried assassinating him, and et cetera, et cetera. So Tarkin's very pissed off, says you had one job. Yeah, get away from me. I don't want to speak to you again. And then demotes her and sends her off. And then she basically keeps trying to deem favor with Tarkin. And then she leaves the Death Star on a mission just before it blows up. She takes over his actual Star Destroyer, the Sovereign, and it's all destroyed and unkept. But she keeps it that way as a reminder, and she goes off to fight Leia and the remnants of the the Rebel fleet after Episode 5. And that story arc's very good with her. She's a really fun character, and I'm interested to see what they do next with her.
Yeah,
as Tarkin's protege.
Yeah. So we were showing in there where obviously Tarkin was able to kind of do what he wanted because he was in extreme favor of the Emperor, even able to boss Darth Vader around, which is weird because obviously once Anakin became Darth Vader, the Emperor thought, it's a shame. He was beautiful, and now he's this not so great. But it was still kind of surprising. And then I was going to show this part. It's a really famous scene.
The Imperial Senate will no longer be of any concern to us. I have just received word that the Emperor has dissolved the Council permanently. The last remnants of the old Republic have been swept away. Regional governors now have direct control over their territories. Fear will keep the local systems in line. Fear of this battle station.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Enough of this. Vader, release him.
As you wish.
This bickering is pointless.
And I think it was funny because a few things there. One, that little smarmy guy to his right, that guy was like, like every time he did anything. But so anyway, this guy insults Vader, and if you, especially in the comic books and everywhere else, I know the movie was different because this is beforehand. He has slaughtered entire villages for less than this, and he releases them immediately. And there is no acknowledging that Darth Vader just, Wi-Fi choked him from across the room. He just the bickering is ridiculous, gentlemen. Can we get back here? Are we professionals or what? Will you stop choking him from across the room? Like it was a kind of just a weird moment where he doesn't even acknowledge that he did that. He's just like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought that was,
yeah.
There's a ghost in your house, by the way.
I know. They're opening, slamming doors all day.
I just thought it was interesting that he had that kind of power. That I don't know if he's not second in command, he's got to be pretty close to it. And that what he demanded, like he literally thought that you should be willing to murder anybody in the universe. It doesn't matter, women, children. I know there was one story where there were loyalists and people that were questioning the Empire, and he just wiped out the whole plan. He just bombarded the whole plan. He didn't give a shit. And then
his favorite move,
obviously, what he was demanding from his own people. He was quite the badass, Tarkin. He was, and then it hurt me deeply. I was doing everything I could not to include the movies that should not be named, but I did find it interesting that when the First Order came back, instead of looking at him, because obviously when something like that happens, when Rommel loses a battle, you got to blame him. You're not going to blame Hitler. So whenever this happened, you're not going to blame the Emperor. You got to blame somebody. So I thought it was interesting how fast this really powerful man, because he probably made a lot of enemies, right, during his career.
And I'm sure no one wanted to say anything to him when he's still around, right? They wait till he dies before they start.
Wait till he dies, and he's like, "Look at this goofball." It's his folly.
His slippers. He would walk around the Death Star in slippers. What kind of governor would do that?
But so the First Order came up. They basically looked at him as like one of the heroes. There's only like 4 people they really honored like that, and he was one of them. So. But then when we don't need to go into it here. But then when you find out later by some kind of weird freaking slippery snake thing, the Emperor's still around. So maybe that's why they honored him for love of God. But so yeah, I just really enjoyed talking. I enjoyed getting to know him, or getting a little bit deeper dive into him and seeing. I mean, a lot of it obviously was kind of retrofitted. It's what Disney or Star Wars did way before Disney, actually. But just knowing that him and the Emperor's careers were kind of,
on the same track,
tit for tat all the way up, and it explains so much that maybe even Darth Vader didn't understand how far back they went. Like maybe he played it close to the vest, and so he actually didn't know, because it didn't really seem like anybody kind of knew how close he actually was.
They kept their kind of really deeper dealings to themselves. They didn't kind of show it off.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said it in the opening thing, he used that meeting with the Separatists. It was supposed to be like, hey, let's find this out, and of course he could sabotage it, the Emperor, because he wasn't playing both sides of the game there. And then he used his ability as his friend to say, hey, and now don't let the Republic go in there and investigate, so they can find out what I'm doing. Tell them, you're not welcome here. And he was able to do that, and that got him even more, So it was just interesting because, like I was saying, Director Kreckneck, he had no idea. He thought he could go whine to Vader or go whine to somebody, and he had no idea that like the best play for you is just to take it like a man and turn around and walk away. Like that was your best play.
Ignoring it all and pretending not to be salty.
If Darth Vader had any kind of humor, he would have been like, "Who do you think how far do you think you're gonna get whining to me? Don't you think I've whined to Dad enough? He don't listen to me either. You're coming to me with this nonsense? Like, he don't listen to nobody." But instead, he choked him out for even suggesting such a thing.
Yeah, don't choke on your aspirations.
So, what did you think after learning more about him? Respect him more? Respect him less? Great character? Not such a great character. What do you think?
Oh, I just love him more. Yeah. I mean, he's kind of like Leonidas crossed with, an English gentleman. Much respect.
Hosier, what do you think?
Absolutely fantastic. Well, he's definitely one of my favorites. He's such a great villain. Like perfectly, he is a villain through and through. And English gentleman, if you gave him that, he's the evil mustache twirling one, except with no mustache, just clean shaven.
And I think obviously I like him way more, but like don't like him as much because you do kind of look at him as like this nice old man. But he's way more cutthroat than I thought he was. Way more, hey, whatever it takes to get the job done. You gotta break a few eggs. You break a few eggs. If it requires me to bake 3, he seemed like he's the kind of guy that if the Emperor said, "I think you're probably gonna have to break 3 eggs," he breaks 3 dozen just to show that like I'll do whatever you need me to do. Yeah. But I do feel like I know that if I was some kind of movie historian or something like that, what I'm about to say is probably stupid. But I do feel like with the popularity of Star Wars, that character, and we kind of said this at the beginning, that character, not just English, but that proper guy that obviously is really intelligent. He seems to have the manners and whatever. But as soon as like the bad guy turns around, he leans over and says, "Kill his whole family and make him watch." Like, you know what I mean? That level of bad guy where it's not just some kind of monster like running around with a knife. That like smart, intelligent. Mm-hmm. Has all the tactics,
methodical,
but doesn't have a problem murdering an entire village.
He was he's the Moriarty, of Star Wars.
I think he like popularized. I think from this point forward, Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of different genres where they're basically that same guy properly staying in their nice suit, but he's also the one, kind of murdering everybody in the background.
Yeah.
So I really did enjoy it. Now, do we have any new comics or
We do. We have 2 pieces of news. We might as well touch that first.
are we gonna do news first?
Might as well do news first, yeah. So
Do I need to go back to sharing it? Is it in the thing?
yeah, there's just one image in there so the image we're gonna pull up. So a while ago we mentioned so Del Rey, the main publisher of Star Wars books, the one that says news, so right there. They had made they reprinted a bunch of Legends material with new covers. And this is their second line, so they're reprinting 4 books. So with new cover art. So the first one on the left is Rule of Two. It's the next Bane book. They did the first one, so they're just continuing it with the same artist. Then they did actually a Rogue Squadron book with a really cool cover.
Neat.
You can zoom in on them. I think it's high enough quality. You can get a good look without spending money on it. And then, and on the right you have because they did the original. They did Heir to the Empire in the first set, but they didn't do the second and third books. These are the second and third book in the original Thrawn trilogy. It's Dark Force Rising and Last Command.
Nice.
Nice.
I have not seen my package come yet, Canadian, but I'm assuming that you're just waiting for both sets to send me at once because I think I asked you to buy me the first one the first time, so I'm assuming you're waiting and it's going to get the whole collection. Then
I was going for this big box set, everything collected in it.
Okay, I figured it was something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and is there any other news?
Other one piece of news, funny enough, we talked last week about some movies and shows that were announced and all the information. And funny enough, for Rogue Squadron, the movie we actually all seem to be interested in, they announced the main writer on it, a man named Matthew Robinson. I saw the name, I didn't recognize it, and then when I saw what they did, I was kind of like, oh boy, that doesn't fit the tone of what I thought the movie would be. He's done 3 things mainly. He's done lots of material for different Ricky Gervais stuff, like shows and stuff. He did the the script for the Dora the Explorer movie, the live action. And he also did the.
That doesn't make it any better.
Yeah, I know. And then the screenplay for a movie called Love and Monsters. It's on Netflix. It's like it's like a teen. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's a teen movie based on like a book. So like
is that what it's like?
Love and Monsters. He basically did the screenplay for those. So not what I was expecting. I was hoping for someone more like how they were talking about the movie, World War II dogfighting. I was hoping for someone kind of closer to anything else. I was not expecting to be the writer.
Maybe he's just a diehard fan. Maybe he's a diehard fan.
Sorry?
Maybe he's just a diehard fan. I mean, you would hope.
Hope so. That's his whole IMDb, by the way. There's nothing else.
Listen. Somebody, if we thought that it was, if we thought the movie or whatever the show was going to be what we thought it was going to be, and that guy sat across from me and said, "What have you done?" Well, I wrote a couple of jokes for like a potty. Not that he's not hilarious because he is, but a potty comedian. Yeah, right over there. And I did Dora the Explorer, and I did like a teen romp movie. It's on Netflix. Check it out. And they're like,
the Dora the Explorer live action movie.
Yeah, that's kind of concerning to me, just because they thought with that not that he can't write it. He could. He's a writer. He can write anything. Probably. Yeah.
But that was his whole. There's honestly his whole IMDb. Everything else is like a single TV episode and a random British show.
There's a lot of people who write really good World War II stories, and I don't think that the writer for the Dora the Explorer. I mean, I'm not saying he can't do it, but I'm just saying, like, maybe he should have went to the Droid show. Maybe that would have been a good writing job for him. I don't know. Like, maybe I'm a jerk. He's going to prove me wrong, but
I can't wait for us to
Colonel
review
does say
droids.
it's a grade A film, and I know he's a Dora the Explorer fan. So maybe maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. She explores. Maybe it's a World War II movie where they're doing exploring.
Yeah.
You never know.
Indiana Jones in space.
There might be a monkey. There might be a monkey in a spaceship. Don't worry.
So is there any other news?
That's all the news. That's why I wanted to cover that.
I will jump in here, and I don't care what you say. We had this fight earlier, Canadian. Listen, okay? There's the most famous ship in the world is the Millennium Falcon. Followed by a ship called
yes,
One.
this argument. The what's that term? The persons what are they called? Prisoners with jobs 1.
Yes. Slave One is the name of the ship. It's the most famous ship in the world. There are slaves in this universe. Are we going to go back and pretend like they're not slaves? There are slaves. Boba Fett is not a hero. He is not fun. He burns people alive. He kidnaps people. He probably has sold people into slavery, hence the name, or Django, I guess, before him. Now Disney, at least on the Lego front, is changing the name to Starship.
Boba Fett's Starship. Starfighter, actually.
I'm not saying. Listen. I know it has not been full on out, but I've heard now in some other toy lines somebody showed me on the concept art, they also had it as his Starship and not Slave One. Disney, you're pushing. I know you don't give a crap about me, but you're pushing me to the edge, man. Come on with this. This is getting silly now.
Did you hear about that, Kachun, or no?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, their Lego set upcoming for it. The name on it doesn't say Slave One. It says Boba Fett's Starfighter. And everyone was freaking out about it because they said it's all being changed to that. They were getting rid of Slave One. Lego does that.
Lego does.
So my argument against Greg was that Lego does that. Mm-hmm. And on other ships for the other bounty hunters, they said the same thing. They just be like a person ship or in the Mandalorian sets. But once you see, and
you should be getting freezed right now.
No. Yeah, I'm first. My internet has been trashed apparently tonight.
I would say this though. Apparently, from the reports, Disney's the one, not Lego. Disney is the one that has requested a Lego and another toy to.
And it could be because it's Lego. Because it
could be.
It's for kids, and they don't want to avoid slaves, I guess. But
P-Wall, listen, we've had some fights in the past about your Rebels. You know I love Rebels, but the Ghost. I'm sorry, it's not more popular. I might be able to pull off Luke's X-Wing. I still don't think so. It's iconic, but
it doesn't have a name. That's the thing.
I think that the Slave One is by far, people know what it is immediately. An X-Wing could just be an X-Wing. There's only one of those.
Right.
Okay. Now we can go. My blood pressure is rising. We're definitely not going to talk about Omega here because then I will literally eat the microphone.
We will save Bad Batch talk for the episode before the finale of the season.
Let me explain something to you guys, okay?
Yeah.
Listen, whatever our final episode that we're going to do for Bad Batch, you probably need to watch that one live because I got a feeling, unless I can control myself, YouTube is going to take me off the air. I got a feeling that YouTube, maybe not that night, because there's not enough people watching for that. But at some point, I'm going to say something that's going to get me striked and banned for at least a week, I would imagine, because I'm a little worked up. I have some opinions when it comes to Bad Batch.
We should just all watch it together and have it like
that. You absolutely do not want that.
No, us three watch it together, have it recorded, and then when we talk about it, we'll cut clips of that. If we have to show the whole thing.
I'm gonna tell you right now. You do not see what I say live when things happen live because it is unfiltered, and I'm from a different era than the people these days. And so there's a lot of things that come flying out whenever that happens. All right, so let's go
comics. Yeah,
comics. But let me, because I always forget to do this one. All right.
So, new comic,
Sorry.
It's right there. So yeah, so starting off, we have this is the second.
Like when a YouTuber says, "I come in the chat," the first thing I hear is he's getting banned. Only when the other talk starts.
Yep. The overlords are watching.
Oh,
All right.
So,
Weapon
yeah.
of the Jedi.
issue 2 of that series they just started, The Weapon of a Jedi. It's just a mini series of adventures. So the cover is the same exact cover as issue 1. I don't think they showed off a second cover, like a solicited one. They just used the same one again, which I don't really know. Obviously, the website we use is probably not the greatest at this point.
Right. Because that clearly won't be the cover.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty thick book.
And now, hey, if anyone remembers our early spec when they kept banning, they would cut the YouTube clips because because of the show.
Don't remind them. Don't remind the overlords. Don't remind them.
What was that issue? What was that, episode 2 or 3 we did? That must have been
3, 2 or 3. Yeah.
Look for it because it's probably the only video I have that has commercials because I do not own the rights to that video.
So
we gave you a 10-week at least heads up on this spec.
Yeah, there was 10 weeks of spec. So this is issue 11 for Dr. Aphra. This is the A cover, and obviously Dirge is there.
Now we knew obviously he's on the cover, but we speculated that there'd be a cameo in the previous issue, and there was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at the very end of the issue.
Mm-hmm. Because remember, in all of his legends, he had these awesome entries.
Oh,
all these cameo entries that he just stomped on in and just destroyed things.
With the best dialogue, easily. So I hope the dialogue's up to par.
His
if it's
trash
not, I'm gonna be very mad. So this is the B cover. It's the Pride variant. That's it's really ugly. Floating, floating in space.
Great.
I hate when they just do that, where they just have them float in space like that. Like, please.
To me, this speaks a lot to Marvel, and it speaks to why I get mad about Marvel claiming that they're trying to be inclusive. They're trying to have people of color. They're trying to do all this stuff, and this is all bull crap. Because every time they do stuff like this,
it's very lazy.
It's very lazy. It's clear they put no thought into this. They just did this very generic cover. They threw
the character.
A rainbow bling here and did this right here, and they called it done. And look at us, clap, pat me on the back because I'm all inclusive now. And it's just lazy.
If you got rid of the rainbows, could you tell what it was?
No, it's trash.
What is behind her?
Sad.
What is behind
her? Now we're talking. Business is picking up, boys.
This is the C cover. Again, this is another Lucasfilm 50th anniversary. I thought you'd love this.
Look out.
Look at him, ladies. Hello.
Where's his green cape?
He wears whatever color he wears. You watch out. Kissing the ladies and making them cry. Hello.
Now, that's a good one. So that's a pretty. That's one. I think that's my favorite of the 50th anniversary.
I gotta get my LCS. I got issues. He needs to buy me some books. Even though I promised I wasn't bringing no more books in, but I need this in my life.
So, yeah, and then we have High Republic. This is issue 6.
That's actually kind of cool.
Rancor.
Yes, it's around the Rancor. The A cover to it. Yeah, pretty straightforward. No idea what the issue's about. So at this point, this one is the V. This is the Pride variant again. The V cover. This one's pretty bad.
It's not as bad as the other one, but it's still pretty bad.
Yeah.
This is the guys from the Matrix, the twins from the Matrix. They just shaved their head. That's all this is. Just so you know, it's insider tip. That's pro tip right there. That's what that is.
Now, aren't these guys
copy the Matrix as your spec?
Aren't they supposed to be like?
They're non-binary is the term. Yeah, they're they're twins, but they share the same mind and feelings, and pain. So
share the same mind.
There you go.
So that's the B cover, and then you have the C cover, which is Peach Momoko, of course. It's a ratio, I believe. I think it's 1:25.
And who's that supposed to be?
It's the main character. She was the apprentice turned knight in the High Republic. I can't remember her name for the life of me. Not really memorable in my way. She has the double bladed green lightsaber. That's
He wants it. So when do you guys start showing Star Wars books? Hey, listen, I'm with you. Well, this is what the overlords are giving us right now because they're trying to check boxes. They're not caring about actually doing anything.
But we got Dirge at least.
Yeah, you got at least when the main series are okay for now.
Yeah,
So,
listen, what I would say about her, I've never understood it. I don't understand the hype. I've like very few of her covers. I would say this: she's good at doing girls, obviously, and then two, by the way her art is, she's in such high demand. There's no way she's gonna keep up some high level of quality when you're like having to pump them out like that. But this is if you're gonna buy one Star Wars book this week, it's the one I'd probably grab. I'd probably pick this up if I were you.
Not to mention, when we did our Dirge episode, you go back, every time Dirge shows up, it was a great issue. Basically, lots of action, great dialogue, and the art was usually really good. So I know the art in Afra has been really good too in this recent run. Since Sana got reintroduced into it, the art picked up really well. So I would assume it carries over here too.
Now that being said, this guy's unstoppable, indestructible. Jedis can hurt him. If I know the way Disney does things now, these two will probably disarm him and have him tied up within 2 seconds with a piece of bubble gum and a rope. So I'm just gonna say, like, if I had to guess what Disney's gonna pull off, I hope not. I hope they're gonna do right by him. But
in a cage,
I'm not confident. We'll just say that I'm not confident in how that's gonna work.
I like what Chris says.
Well, he's getting pretty over there.
I'm trying. Hey, here's a good one for you guys. They opened haircuts.
Comment back there you go. Let him know.
They what?
I'm good at doing girls too.
They're opening haircuts up tomorrow.
Haircuts.
Yeah.
Haircuts. For what reason?
Barbershops and all that can open up tomorrow.
My barbershop's been open since like January, and
I wish they were here. This is all gonna go for next.
Why?
I hate it. It's so hot here, and my hair's never been this long before.
For the love of God, it's so hot in Canada.
Yeah, I hate it. I miss the winter.
Sweet. So my LCS is here. LCS, I got a couple of comic books you need to order for me.
Now,
Southern Comic Geeks here, ladies and gentlemen. Disputing facts. He's throwing the facts out of his mouth right now.
He's saying something. I need a haircut too. My hairdresser's downstairs.
You certainly do. I mean, it's just running wild at this point. You really need to get control of that.
So I wanted to show this quick. I mentioned it earlier. The action figure covers, because I mentioned the droids, how they have like the numbered name, and then they have it spelled out. So IG-88, they had an action figure cover coming out, and this is what they do. And I hate this. I hate it with a passion. But focuses. I zoom in more. Will it focus? Will I have freedom?
It does not. It's not focusing.
Here then. IG-88 action figure cover.
What are you about to do?
I'm about to pull it up and then screen share. John, Tyler, Christopher. I assume I'm like full screen right now or something. I hope not. Okay. Share. Okay. Can everyone see that? Or can you see that?
There we go now. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I hate that. That looks so stupid.
They put IG. I need that for the store, though. I need that for iSource.
Yeah, IG-88.
Text.
Like, do you really need to do that? Like, IG-88. Like,
what does it say?
Does it?
That bothers me so much with all the droids. C-3PO. Here.
Do you want me to tell you some other stuff that they're doing when this is the thing that bothers you? Do you want me to give you some more info about what they're doing and this is what bothers you?
The C-3PO. Like that angers me for some reason. It's no other.
I wonder if I can buy all of them and then send them to you. Is what I want to know. I want to know if I can.
I mean, if
that.
you do that, I mean, I will make a collage. I'll just cut out. I will just cut out the parts that's spelling out.
The phonetic droids.
The phonetic droids. That's a good band name.
I think that's it. You guys have anything else to add to Grand Moff Tarkin?
No, we covered it.
Grandma.
All
I will
right.
definitely go through later and crop out those images from Tails. From the droids. Sorry, droids from Tails.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us again. Next week we are going to be doing who? Do we know yet?
We have some options, but we'll still figure it out.
We've narrowed it to 4.
Yeah, we narrowed it down a little bit. So, just if you guys have any suggestions, obviously we would love suggestions.
If you're rewatching this, or if you're even watching this now and you want to get a suggestion, you can just go ahead and put it in the comments section, and we will do our best to do that character. I'm going to just ignore Chris Lopez at the moment because I'm going to get banned, and I don't want tonight to be the time to get banned. I want to earn my banning, so we're just going to ignore that for right now and just say thanks, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers.
See you guys.